Practice TOEFL 3, Section 1, Listening Comprehension. In this section, you will demonstrate your skills in understanding spoken English. There are 3 parts in the listening comprehension section, with different tasks in each. Part A, Directions. In Part A, you will hear short conversations between 2 people. At the end of each conversation, a third person will ask a question about what the 2 people said. Each conversation and each question will be spoken only 1 time. For this reason, you must listen carefully to understand what each speaker says. After you hear a conversation and the question, read the 4 selections and choose the one that is the best answer to the question the speaker asked. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and blacken the space that corresponds to the letter for the answer you have chosen. Blacken the space completely so that the letter inside the space does not show. Listen to the following example. On the recording, you hear,
Does the car need to be filled?
Mary stopped at the gas station on her way home.
What does the woman mean? In your test book, you will read, A, Mary bought some food. B, Mary had car trouble. C, Mary went shopping. D, Mary bought some gas. From the conversation, you learn that Mary stopped at the gas station on her way home. The best answer to the question, does the car need to be filled, is D, Mary bought some gas. Therefore, the correct answer is D. Now let us begin Part A with question number 1. Question number 1.
The medical license examination on June 22nd was very difficult. Did Sandy pass?
She hasn't received a letter yet, but she says she sailed right through it.
What does the woman say about Sandy? Question number 2.
The new sports complex is an excellent facility with all kinds of conveniences.
Last time we went, we drove around for 40 minutes before we found a place to park.
What does the man mean? Question number 3.
The stock market is up, but my son is losing money on his mutual funds.
If I were in his shoes, I would hire another broker to manage my investments.
What does the woman imply? Question number 4.
The traffic is congested by Toledo, and it's getting close to the rush hour. I don't know what time I'll get there.
When you arrive at the house, just let yourself in.
What does the man mean? Question number 5.
Chocolate must be an all-time favorite. We sell gallons of it.
Actually, vanilla ice cream accounts for 70% of all flavors sold in the past decade.
What does the woman imply? Question number 6.
Did Liz get a used car?
She has already had to pay for new tires, and now it looks like she'll need a headlight.
What does the man say about Liz? Question number 7.
I thought Joanna went to the art museum with Mark.
When Mark called at 10, Joanna had already gone canoeing with her brother.
What does the woman mean? Question number 8.
Why did Bob and Lynn cancel their cruise? Is their company doing well?
Because of the change in revenue income, they had to take a cut in pay.
What does the man mean? Question number 9.
Mrs. Bailey wants to be reimbursed. Do you know how much?
She was charged $38 for the flowers and another $12 for the delivery.
What does the woman mean? Question number 10.
What changes are planned on the north side of the city?
The proposal to build a hospital in the area looks more promising than it did 6 years ago.
What does the man imply? Question number 11.
Can I stay for just another minute? I really need to look something up.
Patrons are requested to leave the library when the closing bell is sounded.
What does the woman mean? Question number 12.
The roads here seem very confusing to me. I am not sure I can find your house in time for us to make the performance.
Would you like to meet at the concert hall instead?
What does the man suggest? Question number 13.
Is Rita ready with her data? We've got to make a good impression.
She made sure she checked the slides for the sales presentation.
What does the woman say about Rita? Question number 14.
You bought 12 loaves of bread and 5 gallons of milk.
We've invited 4 couples to visit during the summer semester break.
What does the man mean? Question number 15.
Isn't Margaret lonely? I know I would be.
Now that all her children are out of the house, she is thinking about going back to college.
What does the woman say about Margaret? Question number 16.
Ralph doesn't seem to be worried about the boys.
He doesn't let on what he is really thinking.
What does the man mean? Question number 17.
I swerved to avoid a dog and ran into a telephone pole.
No problem. We can have your car as good as new in a couple of days.
What is the woman's occupation? Question number 18.
Arthur went grocery shopping at midnight. What an odd thing to do.
The store does stay open.
What does the man mean? Question number 19.
You missed your flight. Was Ken angry?
Had he thought to pull over at that gas station we saw on Walnut Street, he wouldn't have run out.
What does the woman imply about Ken? Question number 20.
We spent an entire week on words with primary and secondary stresses.
Words that have two stressed syllables are not as common as those that have only one.
What does a man mean? Question number 21.
Do you know how this oven works? I can't figure it out.
Diane makes casseroles in it every week. She'd know.
Where does this exchange occur? Question number 22.
Carl didn't tell me his wife was away at her sister's in Bluffton.
Why is that such a big deal?
She promised to babysit my children while I take my father-in-law shopping for a suit.
Where is Carl's wife? Question number 23.
We've been waiting for the prescription for 25 minutes, and we still need to stop at the bank and pick up the sandwiches at the deli.
We could have gone to the post office in the meantime.
Where does this conversation take place? Question number 24.
What time did they say your car would be ready?
They said it should be ready around 3:30, but I'll be surprised if they finish before 5.
What can be concluded from the woman's statement? Question number 25.
If I eat another bite, I won't be able to breathe.
You didn't have to have so much soup just an hour after you had half a watermelon.
What can be said about the man? Question number 26.
Not only did the Nixons come uninvited, but they also brought their cousins.
It didn't bother me.
What does the woman mean? Question number 27.
Why didn't you go out with Nick? Didn't he say he wanted to take you out on the town?
All he ever talks about is tennis.
What can be concluded from this exchange? Question number 28.
How many students do you have in your statistics class?
This year we restricted it to 200 students, but there are probably just as many on the waiting list.
What can be said about the statistics class? Question number 29.
I'm sorry, sir. Your coat isn't ready yet. I think we can have it for you in about an hour.
How long does it take to mend the sleeve lining?
Where does this conversation take place? Question number 30.
May I have a glass of water? I'm thirsty, and I have a splitting headache.
I'll bring you some aspirin as soon as we get to a higher altitude.
What is the man's occupation? Now read the directions for Part B while they are being read to you. Part B. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear longer conversations. After each conversation, you will hear several questions. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Remember, you are not allowed to take notes or write in your test book. Questions 31 through 34 refer to the following conversation about dolphins.
Our next stop after the antelope and the deer area is the aquarium, where we keep our dolphins. We are very proud of the animals we have acquired, and we take very good care of them.
I thought they were fish.
Oh no, dolphins are mammals. They don't have gills, and they breathe by taking air into their lungs. Unlike fish, they can't remain underwater for prolonged periods of time and need to come up for air. Mature dolphins eat fish, but they can also become prey for sharks. In fact, females nurse and protect their newborns for about a year, till they become self-sufficient and can defend themselves.
This is very interesting. I didn't know that.
Here we are. Aren't they beautiful? You may also notice that these aquatic creatures don't have scales. They are the most sociable of the marine mammals. Here comes Violet, our oldest. She is almost 20 years old.
What's their lifespan?
It's hard to say because individuals are almost impossible to track. But on the average, I'd say about 25 years.
Listen to them. They make so many noises.
That's how they communicate with one another. Some scientists even think that dolphins have their own special language that allows them to warn one another, send messages, or signal the presence of a predator. Eventually, zoologists hope to learn specifically how dolphins transmit information.
Thank you for taking the time. I've learned so much today.
Question number 31. What is the main topic of this dialogue? Question number 32. Where does this conversation take place? Question number 33. How long do female dolphins stay with their young? Question number 34. How do dolphins communicate? Questions 35 through 38 refer to the conversation about dictionaries.
I always recommend that my students use a dictionary when they are working on a paper or a presentation. Dictionaries don't just give the meanings of words, but they also list information about word origins. They also point out which words are literary words used in formal writing and which words are colloquial or simply outdated.
That's right. Dictionaries can supply a wealth of information. Last semester in my reading class, I encouraged students to look up idioms common in American English and foreign words borrowed from other languages. In that class, we had to use dictionaries all the time.
Of course, one can't always rely on a dictionary, however good it is. When language learners acquire a sizable vocabulary, they may need to switch from a general dictionary to a specialized one that includes technical terms. No dictionary contains all the words of a language.
I must say, though, that using dictionaries can be tricky sometimes. If learners don't clearly understand how words are used, but use them anyway, incorrect usage can make their speech or written assignments incomprehensible. In general, there are very few true synonyms. And although dictionaries cite words with similar meanings, these words may be used in completely different contexts.
Question number 35. What is the main idea of this conversation? Question number 36. What types of dictionaries are mentioned in this talk? Question number 37. What did the woman say she did last semester? Question number 38. What can be a drawback in using a dictionary? This is the end of Part B. Now read the directions for Part C while they are being read to you. Part C. Directions. In Part C, you will hear short talks. At the end of each, you will be asked several questions. Each talk and each question will be spoken only one time. For this reason, you must listen carefully to understand what the speaker says. After you hear a question, read the 4 selections and choose the one that is the best answer to the question the speaker asked. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and blacken the space that corresponds to the letter for the answer you have chosen. Listen to this sample talk. You will hear,
Before people used automobiles, they walked or rode bicycles for short distances and took trains, streetcars, or horse-drawn carriages for long-distance travel. When automobiles were first produced, only the rich could afford them. Today, almost every household in the United States owns at least one car, and 90% of American adults have driver's licenses. According to the yearly value of its output, the U.S. automobile industry exceeds all other manufacturing industries in the country. As a consumer, this industry also supports other major industries such as steel, glass, and rubber. Furthermore, approximately 12 million Americans are employed in the auxiliary service industries consisting of repair shops and service stations.
Now listen to the following question. You will hear, according to the speaker, how did people travel before the invention of the automobile? You will read, A, by cars and carriages. B, by bicycles, trains, and carriages. C, on foot and by boat. D, on board ships and trains. The best answer to the question according to the speaker, how did people travel before the invention of the automobile, is B, by bicycles, trains, and carriages. Therefore, the correct answer is B. Now listen to another sample question. Approximately how many people are employed in the automobile service industry? You will read A, 1 million, B, 10 million, C, 12 million, D, 90 million. The best answer to the question, approximately how many people are employed in the automobile service industry, is C, 12 million. Therefore, the correct answer is C. Questions 39 through 42 refer to the following lecture about Lake Ontario.
If you look out the window on the right side of the van, you will see Lake Ontario, the smallest and most eastern of the 5 Great Lakes. Although the lake is navigable for large ships all year round, it is less traveled than the other Great Lakes. Lake Ontario borders the Canadian province of Ontario on its north side and the northwestern part of New York, and forms a crucial link of the St. Lawrence Seaway. The lake is about 193 miles long and 53 miles wide, and covers an area of 7,500 square miles. The shore of the lake is approximately 480 miles around. 2/3 of the lake waters lie below sea level, and because Lake Ontario is very deep, it does not freeze in the winter, except near the shore where the water is shallow. A constant current carries the water from west to east at the rate of about 1/3 of a mile per hour. Because of the capacity of large bodies of water to retain heat, the lake has a moderating effect on the climate of the areas that surround it. For example, while the eastern shore of the lake never has a really hot day, on its southern shore, fruit trees grow both in the United States and Canada. The lake empties into the Atlantic Ocean through the St. Lawrence River, while the Niagara River and the Welland Canal connect it to Lake Erie in the southwest.
Question 39. How is Lake Ontario different from the other Great Lakes? Question 40. What can be said about the traffic on Lake Ontario? Question 41. How long is Lake Ontario's shoreline? Question 42. How does Lake Ontario affect the climate in its vicinity? Questions 43 through 47 refer to the following talk about Edgar Allan Poe.
Today, we move on in an overview of prominent figures in 19th century American literature. We will begin with Edgar Allan Poe, who after more than a century since his death remains among the most popular American authors of all time. He was born in Boston on January 19, 1809, to a family of traveling actors. About a year and a half later, his father, David Poe, left his wife and son and disappeared without a trace. Elizabeth Poe, who was an English-born actress, died in 1811 in Richmond, Virginia, during a tour, and her son was taken care of by the family of John Allan, a relatively wealthy tobacco exporter. The Allans had no children of their own, and Mrs. Allan became an affectionate mother for young Edgar. Because the Allans were well off, Edgar received a thorough education appropriate for a gentleman. The Allens traveled frequently on business, and young Poe lived with the family in England and Scotland between 1815 and 1820. There, he attended a classical preparatory school at Stoke Newington for 3 years. When Poe turned 11, the family moved back to Virginia, and he continued his education at a local academy. Later, when Edgar entered the University of Virginia, he succeeded admirably in his academics. However, gambling led to the demise of his academic pursuits, and Allen removed Edgar from the university within a year.
Question number 43. Where was Edgar Allan Poe born? Question number 44. What can be said about Poe's adoptive parents? Question number 45. How old was Edgar Allan Poe when his family moved back to Virginia? Question number 46. What can be said about Poe's study at the university? Question number 47. Why did John Allen remove Poe from the university? Questions 48 through 50 refer to the following talk about advertising.
To put it simply, advertising can be any form of presentation that promotes ideas, services, and goods that have a sponsor who pays for the advertising. All advertising is non-personal, and the information contained in it is directed toward a large group of people who have many different characteristics. What separates advertising from publicity is that advertising is paid for, while publicity cannot be bought. Sponsors such as hamburger and soft drink companies pay for the time and news media space that they use to get the information about their products to the public. In many cases, specifically indicating who the sponsor is for a particular advertisement can be the very purpose behind it. Political advertising is one of the prime examples of cases when identifying the sponsor is why the advertisement is made.
Question number 48. What is one of the defining characteristics of advertising? Question number 49. Who is the audience for advertisements? Question number 50. What is the primary difference between publicity and advertising? Stop working on Section 1.
you.